And now the last topic for today is DOR and DoD. So what is this DOR, DoD? DOR, DoD. Okay, let me explain. 1 minute. Okay. See, this product PBI stands for product backlog item. I told, right? When a user, PBI means just consider now as a user story. DOR means definition of ready. DOR stands for definition of ready, and it's an entry criteria for a product backlog item. So this criteria will tell whether the story is ready to be worked by the team. And then what is this definition of done is, it is the exit criteria for the product backlog item. So is the story done, really done? For that we need to check certain condition. So that both are quality criteria. To say in short, both are quality criteria. Okay. So if someone is going to ask you like what is a DOR, DoD, just in short you can tell this, and then clearly understand DOR and DoD are some checklists. Okay. So these are some checklists which must be completed before we are taking some backlog item. That means consider, I will tell you an example, very clear example. So you have a user story. When can you tell that the user story is ready? For that, there are certain conditions. It should. Can you tell that? Can you tell based upon understanding whatever you have? When can you tell the user story can be ready? It should have a proper description, right? Proper description,
Yes.
proper acceptance criteria, and all the details it should have, right? And then one more thing is it should satisfy the invest criteria, correct? So this is
Yes.
kind of a checklist. Yeah, okay, done. First criteria is done, second criteria is done. So always remember, your team and your product owner should make sure that each user story is following the quality criteria of DOR. When you are creating the story and when you are keeping the story ready. In the same way, how can you mark the user story as done? That means when can you tell like that the user story is completed means, for that we need a set of criteria, right? I told you earlier also. One of the criteria is all the subtasks should be completed within the user stories. And then testing should be completed for the user story. And acceptance criteria should be satisfied for the user story. So these are some checklists, right? So in short, if I want to tell what is a DOR, DoD, both are checklists. Quality criteria, checklist for entry, which is like one is for the entry criteria and one is for the exit criteria. This is in short. Now I'm just going to tell you like what are the sample for a DOR and DoD. So I'm just telling a user story level DOR I'm showing you. So when can you tell like a user story is ready? I told very, very clearly. Business, see, first thing is this invest criteria itself, they would have split it into many points. Okay, the invest criteria I told, right? So in short, if you want to tell, each user story should follow the invest criteria. And then the business value should be clearly articulated in the story. And then what are the details required? So that the team is able to understand the user story. See, based upon the stories only, the team is going to work, right? This user story is there. That means what they want to do, all the details should be there. And then dependencies should be identified and no external dependency should block the story. This I already explained to you. It is independent, right? I stands for independent. Correct? And then estimated, and it should be small enough. So everything comes under the same. And acceptance criteria are clear and testable. You should have a proper acceptance criteria for a user story. And then if any performance criteria is required, you need to mention that. And then at last, the team should understand how to give a demo in the sprint review. So I told you at the end, the stakeholders, we need to give a demo, right? In the sprint review. So for that, how should the team give the demo? What are the scenarios the team should give the demo? So all these things should be captured already in the DOR. So if one user story is there, if it is satisfying all these conditions, in short, they used to tell like invest criteria. If it is following invest criteria, then we can mark that story as ready. Ready means it is ready to be taken by the team. and the team is ready to work. That is the main.
Okay.
Now for DoD, when can you tell? See, DoD for user story completion. When can you tell like user story is completed? First, see there may be like a lot of points. I will just tell the main points. Okay, first point is very important point is the acceptance criteria should be satisfied, and then they should unit test. For example, the developers may be writing unit test cases, right? So if they are writing unit test cases, it should be getting passed. And then this is source code, Jenkins, these and all you don't want to worry. And code review should be completed. Code review should be completed by, for example, you are a developer and you are going to you have written some code for a user story and you have developed the user story now, and peer, another person should actually review that code. And how to demo, that also you need to know. And then the most importantly, the product owner should be able to accept that user story. That means, yeah, this is working as expected. The product owner should tell. Then only this user story can be marked as done. In addition to that, one more condition is you should have all the subtasks completed within the user stories. And you need to have the testing also completed within the user story. So this is one sample DoD. Okay. So in real time, it will be in this way. So the same thing, whatever I have mentioned. Okay, see, user story, DoR and DoD. So DoD means code review completed, peer review completed, unit testing done, then test cases executed, and acceptance criteria met, demo completed. In this way, there's a checklist. Okay, this is done, this is done, this is done. So on the entire way, this user story is marked as done. So this is one simple checklist for a DoD, and this differs from project to project. Each project may be having like little different DoD based upon the customer expectation. Clear, right?